So, Lashley, I'm so glad that you joined me here for Athlon Sports. First of all, I want to congratulate you just in general on having the creative freedom to be able to do what you're able to do on AEW. How satisfying is it to finally get that freedom with the Hurt Syndicate?
Well, I think it was long overdue. When we put that group together before, everyone loved it, and it was very there was a lot of synergy with it. We all got along. We were all real friends. We all had a lot of potential in the wrestling business, and all of us did a lot of big things in the wrestling business. So just having the opportunity to be able to showcase that the way that we wanted to it was a blessing. It was something that was needed. And when we talked to Tony Khan and he gave us the green light on it, we were like, what can we do with this and how can we make this thing special? So that's what we've been doing the last several months. And I think we're just going to continue on. It's going great. So I think it's just going to keep rolling and getting better.
For the longest time, I've viewed you as like a main eventer in the vein of like, similar to like, your Randy Ortons, your John Cena, you guys who were, slotted in that main event scene. But were you frustrated at any point knowing that you weren't getting that creative freedom that the other main eventers were getting, the other main event veterans?
No, I never judge myself with anyone else. Everyone else runs in their own path. I was very fortunate enough to be in the roles and the storylines that I was able to be in and to do the things that I was able to do. And I never look back at saying I regret this or I wish it could have been better because my life has been great. So of course we all loved we all loved the opportunity to be that main event of WrestleMania, but sometimes it's just not in the cards. So I believe that I did some big things in the wrestling business, and I think the fans look at me as that main eventer, and I always will be that main eventer. I won a world title there, and I'm looking to win the world title in AEW just to kind of solidify my career.
Now, obviously the Hurt Syndicate is getting all the shine right now in AEW. When you were
As we
doing
should.
exactly, and but when you were doing the Hurt Syndicate, during the pandemic era, right? Do you feel like now it's finally vindicated? You're saying, yeah, I knew that this was going to work in front of a live audience to where it has.
Yes, because when we were doing it in the pandemic time, it was not in front of a live audience, and it had so much press. It had um, so much attention. Everyone was talking about it. And it wasn't because it was on the pandemic, it was because it was something that people really enjoyed watching. So it was something that we were like, man, we really didn't have an opportunity to do in front of a live crowd. So when we get it now, we were like, we weren't guessing. We weren't thinking, oh, maybe this is going to work. We knew it was going to work. We just needed a crowd to be able to do it in front of. The crowd's just been dying for it. And we just wanted to give it to them.
One of the most important pieces of the Hurt Syndicate is obviously MVP. Can you recall a time when you first truly realized that you two clicked on a maybe just not only just a business relationship, but as a friendship as well?
Well, we did it back in Impact. Several years ago, we started a beatdown clan there,
That's right.
and
That's right.
we started it there, and it was just like we didn't know it was going to work. It was just, hey, let's see if we can put these two together and see what happens. And MVP and I, we've been friends for a long time, so we were like, yeah, let's do this. Let's have some fun with it. And then when we started doing it, it was like, man, this is real. People like it. I mean, he's the voice and I'm the muscle. So it's always been something that we knew was going to work. And then we just needed the other pieces of the puzzle. And Sheldon, Sheldon is a good friend of mine, good friend of MVP. They live right next to each other. So when we threw him into the mix, it was like, all right, it's forming. And then of course throwing Cedric in when we were in WWE, Cedric was that piece that we really needed. We needed that young guy
Yeah.
that comes in that's a little spunky, that has that energy, that can just go and fight, that we can kind of protect and be there for. So everything just worked out perfect. So I mean, I had no doubt that it was going to continue to work the way that we wanted it to work. And me and MVP go together. We laugh about it all the time. We say, man, let's do it again. We always give each other knuckles right before walking out. We said, one more round. And we just keep going, man. It truly is fun. And I think the crowd sees it. They understand it. It's not like one of those groups that you just see get thrown together and it's like, oh, this looks cool, these guys together. No, we're real. This is real. Everything about our group is real. So I think the crowd understands that. They feel it, and they love it.
And you can definitely see that chemistry that you're talking about on TV between the three of you. You mentioned the other half of the AEW World Tag Team Champion, Shelton Benjamin. For the longest time, fans have said he's been one of the most underappreciated, underrated wrestlers in the business. Do you feel like he's finally getting his flowers now?
I don't really see that. People say that, but Shelton's been in some really big things for a long time. Of course, not winning a world championship in his career, I think that's the only thing that he kind of missed. But since then, I mean, he's been in some really great roles in WWE and when he came over to AEW. I think when he came over to AEW, a lot of guys they wanted to get in the ring with him, but they felt that they could beat him. Like, man, you guys don't understand who Shelton is. So I think what you're saying, I can agree with to a certain extent, but I don't want to say that he hasn't done anything. His career has been amazing. He's been in the wrestling business for 20 years, 20 plus years, and I don't think very many wrestlers can say that. And when I say 20 years, not 20 years just wrestling for 20 years, being in a high level organization for over 20 years.
You're in a high profile storyline right now with MJF, who of course, one of AEW's top stars. He's the one who's trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate. What feedback have you gotten from fans? It seems like they really enjoyed the stuff that you're doing, especially with you driving off, giving MJF the thumbs down.
We've gotten some good feedback. I think that the crowd is like, what's going to happen here? I mean, that's the big mystery with it. Right off the bat, I'm very protective of the Hurt Syndicate, very protective of it. And when we first came to AEW, there was a lot of guys that were like, we want to work with you, we want to work against you, and it makes sense. Something new. Um, and we bring a lot of star power to it. So a lot of people wanted to jump aboard. So he's just another guy that's wanting to jump aboard. I'm not all sold on him right now. I think he has a huge amount of potential. When we came over here, we were kind of like going through the roster of different guys that are on top because of course we wanted to work with somebody on top, but somebody that fit into the group. We had the little stint with Swerve. We had a little bit with Ricochet, which I still love. Um, and then Cedric is a free man. So there's a lot of different people we're looking at. MJF offers something unique, and I think that's why MVP likes him so much. I don't know if that's the right fit. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to say thumbs up. I'm still kind of in the middle here. I'm more down than anywhere else right now because he's a snake. I mean, if you watch AEW, if you know the history of AEW, that guy has double crossed more people in the wrestling business than we that we can count. And him coming with us, is he going to change? I don't think so. But the one thing I do know is if he tries to double cross us, we're gonna rip him in half. So that's the only caveat to that whole thing is yes, we'd love to work with him, but I'm a little skeptical of where his intentions and where his heart is right now.
So obviously, you and Shelton Benjamin ruling the tag team division. What are some of the other AEW teams that you're looking forward to sharing the ring with soon? Obviously, we got AEW All in Texas coming up.
Well, since we've been in AEW, I can say this in all honesty. Didn't know too much about some of the guys from the roster, didn't know very many of them. But I've been blown away by the guys that we've been in the ring with. Private Party, those guys are freaking stars. Hands down, stars. The Guns, amazing. Um, we just went with the Gates of Agony. Shocking. They're an incredible tag team. The Outrunners, fantastic. The crowd loves them. And everyone we step in the ring with, it's like, here's another tag team. We're like, all right, let's go kill them. And then we get in the ring with them. We're like, damn, these guys are a lot better than I even thought. It's not that I didn't think that they were good, but there's so much talent on the AEW roster that if you watch that show, you can look at so many different guys and saying, damn, this guy has what it takes to be a star. I mean, several. We looked at the Kevin. He just had that match with Will Ospreay,
Hmm.
freaking amazing. And then he had a tag match with him and Speedball. those guys are incredible, man. And then the young bucks are over there, and then you got FTR. I mean, those guys have already proven what they can do. So, it's a flip a coin, man. I think there's so many tag teams that we can really get in there and do some big, good business with. All in, don't know who's going to show up. You got Buddy and Brody. You have Lance and Cage. You have some of the guys that we already beat that kind of disappeared for a while. They disappeared for a little while, but then last week I saw the Outrunners, and I was like, man, these things are different. They started hitting the gym. So that's one thing that I like that we can do. We can change the landscape of the business because when we first came in as a Hurt business before, a lot of guys were just coming in sweats and whatever, and they were not coming in with the image conducive of being a star. But now, if you look at the wrestling business across the board, you see guys that are all suited up that were never suited up before. Guys that are holding titles, guys that just lost titles, all of them are suited up. So we're changing the landscape of the business. And another thing we are changing the landscape of the business because of how we train, how we stay in shape. Like right now, not my suit right now because I'm going to the gym. I mean, I've been doing this for years, man. You're not going to beat me by just flips and dives and everything like that. You got to come ready to fight. And we're seeing these guys get ready and get prepared to fight. So whoever we have at AEW for All In, I think it's going to be a great matchup because all these guys are stepping their game up so that they can win these titles from us.
So this will be the last one for me, Bobby. Obviously, you already have a tag team gold, but what is the ultimate goal for not just you, but the Hurt Syndicate? I know earlier you told me, hey, I'm going to be gunning for the AEW World Title in the future, right? So, what is the ultimate goal of the Hurt Syndicate?
Just to take everything. I mean, MVP has been very open about that when he talked about it. Like, yes, I do want to win gold. I want to win the world title in AEW because that would just be a cool thing. That would be like, winning it. I wanted an Impact. I wanted an ECW. I wanted in WWE, and then I win it in AEW. That's a huge accomplishment. But at the same time, we want to really be able to lift some of these guys up. Some of these guys have not been seen or really known more mainstream. And that's one thing that we want to do. When I came over, I had my first meeting with Tony Khan before I came in. I said, you know what? There's a lot of things that I can bring to the table. There's a lot of things that I can bring to AEW. Because if you look at my rap sheet, I've beaten the best of the wrestling business. You name them, I've pinned them. You got Brock, you got Roman, you got Seth, you got Drew, you got Randy, you got Kevin, you got all these different guys. And not taking anything away from any one of those guys, but I got a list of guys that I've beaten at the top of the food chain in the wrestling business. So coming over to AEW, whoever brings themselves up to my level to be able to take me out, that's the lineage of people that they put themselves in the same realm of. So that's one thing that I want to be able to do. I'm not a selfish guy. I'm not a guy that's just going to take, 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 take. But you have to be able to step up to beat me. And that's one thing that I told Tony. I said, you know what? Coming in here, I want to be able to have some great matches with some of the guys that you have. And I want to elevate some of the talent that you have here. And I want to show what the Hurt Business can really do. So my main goal is to really be able to give the Hurt Business to the crowd and show them what we really can do and what we wanted to do from the beginning. And then after that, I want to elevate some talent over there, win that world title, and then go off to retirement, disappear, and then have fun with my kids. But I have a few years left, so I want to accomplish all those things in the years that I have left.
Well, actually, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it, and best of luck to you in the future as well with anything that you do, AEW related or otherwise.
Yes, sir. Thank you.